What's up, guys? Yeah, that's on the right mode. What's up, guys? Sean Ogle of Location Rebel on location, Eagle Crest, Oregon. It is awesome here. Have you noticed just how gorgeous it is out here? I should do videos out here more often. Today, we are going to talk about all the different types of businesses you can run from anywhere in the world. We're going to start out by focusing on the businesses that, well, maybe you should start if you don't have a ton of money to spend. And then we're going to look at the businesses that you should start if, money's not as much of an issue and you're willing to invest a little bit in what you're doing. Two things before we jump into these businesses. One, I'm Sean Ogle of Location Rebel, and we help you build small businesses that you can run from anywhere in the world that allows you to do more of the stuff that, well, you love to do in life. So if you're into that, make sure to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. We got new videos every week that help you do just that. Secondly, if the things we talk about in this video resonate to you, we've got an awesome guide called How to Become a Highly Paid Freelancer in the Next 48 Hours. There's a link below, you can grab it, it's totally free, and it's gonna give you step-by-step instructions for how to start building this type of business. We put a lot of time and effort into it, I think you're gonna dig it. But with that, let's jump into some business talk. Let's talk about some of the best businesses you can run from anywhere in the world, including out by this river in the middle of nowhere. Well, it's not really the middle of nowhere, it's in picnic tables, so we're not that far out there, but But let's talk about some of the businesses you can run if you don't have a ton of money. All right, I'm not gonna spend a ton of time talking about the first business because, well, I talk about it all the time. It's freelance writing. It's a skill you've already got, it's in huge demand, you can start small and eventually start making a lot of money, and it's not hard to do. There's a very proven process, and you can get started for like $100. You need a web host, you need a theme, and a domain. That's about it. So rather than go on and on about freelance writing, which I've done in plenty of other videos, there's a link below to how to get started freelance writing this year if it's something you're into, and check it out. Oh, that got bright, didn't it? Yeah, now the other half. I'll figure out this video thing one day. Probably a day too late, but whatever. All right, so the second best business you can get started with right now that doesn't cost you a ton of money, that you can do from anywhere in the world, self-publishing. Amazon has completely changed the publishing game. So if you're a decent writer and you have something to say, you can write a book and you can put it up on the Kindle store just like every other published book you've ever seen. Just in our Location Rebel Academy community, I've seen people that have built really, really successful businesses built off self-publishing. Lise Cartwright is one, Gundy Gabrielle, Sassy Zen Girl is another one. These people have been killing it with their self-published books, and they're now bringing in a full-time income from their writing. And what's great about this one is you can pair it with other things. If you want to become a blogger, if you want to become a YouTuber, a podcaster, or anything like that, all of these things can work together to help you market different aspects of your business. And you can do it without a ton of money. I should also mention now we've got a blog post called 17 Businesses You Can Run from Anywhere in the World, where we've got links to more resources for all of the things we're talking about. So if one of these catches your eye, click the link below, go to the website, and it's gonna give you more details for how to get going. All right, one of the next best businesses you can start is a niche website, which is essentially just blogging about a very specific topic. So if you've got something that you're passionate about or something you're an expert in, you can start writing posts about it, you can start writing reviews, and you can pretty easily start making money through the Amazon Affiliates program. Again, we got links to our How to Get Started Affiliate Marketing Guide below, but when I started my golf site, it was within only like 3 months that I actually started bringing in a little bit of revenue with the site, and frankly, I wasn't even trying that hard. So if you do have an expertise, if you've got something you're passionate about, and you can take a unique approach to that niche that most people aren't doing, then it can be relatively easy to start building up a brand, building up a following that you can monetize. And the last business I recommend you should start if you don't have a ton of money is one that might take a little bit longer than some of the others, but it also has the potential to be one of the most lucrative. And that's to start an info product or a private community. community. And so these can take a little bit of time to get going. So you might start your niche site first, or you might start a blog first, but in time, this is something that can really make you a full-time income. So if you've got something in your life where people are constantly asking you for advice, there's a good chance there's probably demand for you to create a course around it. And luckily these days, it is really easy to build a course. This one's gonna cost you a little bit more money than some of the others. You might spend, $100 for a membership plugin for WordPress, and then somewhere between $10 and $20 a month for forum software. We recommend Discourse. It's awesome to be able to host that and actually have a community. But this is great because what it's gonna allow you to do is start generating passive income. You can front load all of the work up front. You can create the course, you can set it up, you can create the marketing funnel, and then once you turn it on, ideally, and in time, people are just gonna kind of start finding you. So you might be out on a hike out here and all of a sudden someone buys your course or someone joins your community. That's one of the cool things about Location Rebel Academy is I can be out here and we have new members that are coming in all the time. So locationrebel.com/join if you want my help building all these businesses that we're talking about. We got a pretty cool community. I think you're gonna dig it. Info products, small private communities, gonna cost you a little bit more money than the others, but a fantastic way to start building a business and establishing yourself as an expert within your industry. People often ask me, you can work from anywhere in the world. Why do you choose Oregon? Well, that's a pretty damn good reason. Okay, so what are some of the businesses that are also great, you can still run from anywhere, but they, might cost a little bit more money to get going? How about we start with the obvious? YouTube and/or podcasting. So YouTube and podcasting are great because there's multiple ways you can make money from it. Whether it's creating your own products, whether it's ads, whether it's sponsorships, whether it's affiliate promotions, there's all sorts of ways you can monetize both YouTube or a podcast. The only problem with it is that it can take a little bit of money up front to get going. Call it between $500 and $1,000 to buy microphones, to buy cameras, to buy the things that you're gonna need to start this business. Both of these can also be a little bit more difficult because they rely so much on your personality. So if you're introverted, if you don't like being in front of a camera, if you don't like the sound of your own voice, then you could be facing a little bit of an uphill battle to start that type of business. But if you can get over that, if you can get over the hurdle, it can be well worth it. I mean, we're going on like 200 videos here at the Location Rebel YouTube channel. Well, I still don't like the sound of my voice. And to give you a little bit of personal background, I'm doing all these YouTube videos. I'm not necessarily making a whole lot of money from advertising or sponsorships or the traditional ways you think of when it comes to making money off YouTube. But what I am doing is I'm sending people to locationrebel.com, which then helps them find Location Rebel Academy. And I'm actually kind of surprised. We brought in a surprising number of new members just from our YouTube videos. So while subscriber growth isn't off the charts and we don't get millions of views in every video, we are getting a lot of people that resonate with the message. They seem to like me, surprisingly, and are joining our community and are having a lot of success. Another business that's great that you can run from anywhere that I highly recommend because, it's how I personally got started, is becoming an SEO freelancer. So if you don't know what SEO is, it stands for search engine optimization. So you're helping websites rank higher for their desired search terms within Google. And this used to be one I would say you could start if money wasn't an issue. But these days, if you're serious about SEO, you're going to need more tools than you needed way back in the day. So if you're gonna do this professionally, you can expect to spend at minimum $100 a month for a tool like Ahrefs, like SEMrush, like Moz, that's gonna allow you to really dig into search results on behalf of your clients. So one of the great things about this type of business is that there's always gonna be a demand for it. People are always looking to get more traffic from search engines, especially as it's getting more expensive to advertise on Google, to advertise on Facebook. And so even though it's more difficult to rank for terms than it used to be, the demand is just as high as ever. If you do decide to go this route though, understand it's not gonna be overnight. With freelance writing, you can get started in a couple weeks and you can start bringing in your first couple clients pretty quickly. With SEO, you really kind of got to know your stuff. So you've got to spend quite a bit of time practicing on your own site. Build a site, start ranking for terms, do the research, figure out what terms you want to rank for, and then once you start having those small wins, once you start building some confidence, it's going to be much easier to then go to a potential client and say, hey, this is what I've done already. Imagine what I can do for you. So I did freelance SEO for 3 to 4 years, and it was great because even though I wasn't necessarily passionate about SEO, I was passionate about the lifestyle it allowed me to have and the fact that it allowed me to work from anywhere, like out here. Yeah, it's nice out here. Okay, next up, what about businesses that don't necessarily cost a lot of money, but they cost a fair amount of time? They're not things you can just learn and be successful with overnight. You gotta spend a little bit of time studying. So the first one is web development. So chances are at some point you've had a great idea for a website, or you've had a great idea for an app. And you'd be like, wouldn't it be cool if I could make this? But you got no clue how to do it. And then you try and find someone that can do it for you. And they seem like they're too expensive, or they're in like Ukraine or something, and you're not sure if you can communicate properly. That's because web development can be a difficult skill to learn, but it can also pay really well or allow you to create the larger scale, longer term business or app that you're interested in. So the way I'd recommend getting started is go to codeacademy.com. They've got some free tutorials that are gonna help you to start learn some of the basics of different coding languages, and then you can decide which one is best for you. Over time, if you get good at it, you'll probably start to be able to work in different languages, but when you're just getting going, I would start out with one and make that the focus. If you really wanna double down on WordPress and maybe WordPress theme design or things like that, then I would start with PHP, because that's the language that WordPress uses. So anyway, looking back over the last 10 years that I've been running these types of businesses, that's probably the one, if I was just getting going, I would devote more time to, because I've seen just how in-demand developers are. I've seen just how hard they are to find at times. And so it really leaves you with no shortage of opportunities to find work when you need it. Okay, finally, the last one I'm gonna share with you, and this isn't something that costs a ton of money, but you can devote a lifetime to learning how to do it, and that's copywriting. So we talked about how freelance writing was super easy to get started with, and we're talking about general content writing here, blog posts, nothing special. Copywriting is essentially the art of being persuasive with your words. If you're reading a sales page, if you're reading an advertisement, that's all forms of copywriting. Have you ever found a product where you're reading the sales page and you just get sucked in? It's like they know who you are. They understand your pain points, your frustrations, your needs, your wants, and then inevitably you end up buying the product. That's because a really good copywriter wrote that. And if you're a good copywriter, then well, you're never gonna be hurting for money, because you can either create your own products and write great sales pages, or you can promote affiliate products that are gonna get people to buy. So copywriting is kind of like the epitome and the overarching thing for all of the other types of businesses we started. Even if you start one of those other businesses, I highly recommend you study copywriting, because no matter what you do, there's gonna be a time where you need to be persuasive with your words, both in your business life as well as your personal life. To get going with that, I recommend you check out copyhour.com. It's by far, in my opinion, the best copywriting course on the market, but that's a little bit expensive. So if you're not interested in spending that kind of money at this point, then I recommend the book Influence by Robert Cialdini, as well as the Gary Halpert letters, and going and reading through those. Those are some of the best sales pages of all time, and just reading those and familiarizing yourself with them and studying them is gonna make you a better copywriter. So with that, those are just a handful of the best businesses you can run from anywhere on earth. Depending on your skill set, your interests, any one of these can be fantastic businesses to start if you're willing to put in a little bit of time and a little bit of effort. But those are also just some of the most common businesses. There are a bunch of others that you might not be as familiar with that maybe aren't quite as talked about. So that's what we've got at the link below, locationrebel.com/locationrebeljobs. It's a super in-depth post that talks about the difficulty with each, how much money you can expect to make with each, and the pros and cons with all of these different types of businesses. So if you're looking for next steps, if you're looking for further resources, I recommend you go check that out. Also, as you know, I think most people should start with freelance writing, so make sure to go check out our How to Become a Highly Paid Freelancer in 48 Hours. It's a free guide we spent a ton of time on. Again, link below, go check that out. We've got a lot of links in this one because I've got resources for basically all of these different types of businesses, because that's what we help you do. We help you start these types of things. We kind of go through the basics for each of them. So this is more of an overarching video. So some of this stuff may feel repetitive, but don't worry, in future videos, we're gonna be digging into these a little bit more. And with that, it's gorgeous here. I'm gonna go walk around and soak this in a little bit. Make sure to hit subscribe. There's a notification bell up there that's gonna let you know when we got new videos, which is every week, by the way. And you know what's coming next. I like that thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, if you enjoyed it, if you got some value out of it. And I'll see you guys soon. Probably again from here, because I'm gonna go try and shoot some more videos while we're here at some point. So anyway, peace. in like 10 years of coming here, never seen snow on the ground during spring break. Means skiing, no golf, and hopefully the weather stays good.